Nancy Guppy is here with another stellar list of shows and exhibits to enjoy around the region, which she's curated just for us.
I have done it just for all of you.
Just for us.
I'm so happy to be here. So I have 3 visual art shows I want to mention. The first one is running at Bellevue Arts Museum. It's called Searching for Home. It's the first solo museum exhibit for a Seattle-based Pakistan-born artist, Humara Abed. Now, Humara is really well known for her symbolically rich wood sculptures.
Look at that.
Yeah, so she's really a lovely young woman. And this show features art that has never been seen before. There are some drawings, but work that she's never done before, and she did it based on research and interviews that she did with refugee women who are settling in both Pakistan and in the Pacific Northwest. So the exhibit is set up as a narrative. There's like 7 stations, and it's kind of like you're going through a little story of a trip, kind of a search for home. The sculptures, as you can see, are beautiful. They're incredibly detailed. Those are wood. And they're also kind of confrontational because that's red paint on those little child sandals. And it's obviously meant to be blood. And the whole idea is to drive home the kind of the brutal cost of being displaced from your home by war and politics. So her work is really beautiful to see and quite the story to follow
and
as well.
important because we have more refugees in the world now than any time since the end of World War II. So
Which
this
is striking,
very
striking.
Very important.
So this show runs through March 25th, 2018 at Bellevue Arts Museum. She gives a talk on Saturday, November 4th at 2 p.m. So I highly recommend that one.
Okay, like it.
Okay, so here's another artist I adore. She's local, Jillian Theobald, and she has a new show called When You Were There, You Knew the Language. She features drawings, abstract paintings, and collage. The work is wonderful, and in particular, that's one of the paintings. In particular, I love the collage work because it highlights for me her mastery of shape and color. Now, she uses materials that are just no big deal. Empty toilet paper rolls, product packaging, little paint chip, little pieces, paint samples. But how she puts this stuff together, the shapes and the colors are so incredibly pleasing to me, and they're kind of in these little boxes, a little bit of a relief in the box on a wall. So this is a show, When You Were There, You Knew the Language, runs now through November 18th at Studio E Gallery in Georgetown. And on the, what's the date? The 20th of October, I'm going to do a little artist talk with her at 3 p.m. and we will be serving cupcakes. So we'll see.
Yes.
Come for the art, stay for the cupcakes.
It's an offer you can't refuse.
You cannot refuse. So another great visual art show is happening. It's called A Dialogue. It showcases the paintings of Jed Dunkerley and Ryan Molenkamp. Ryan, he's the guy on the right with the beard there, and he studied geology. He started studying geology in college, but then he went down the art road. His work is kind of painting mountainous regions and volcanoes of the Pacific Northwest. And his style, that's actually Jed, but the style is really a cool combination of bold, flat color and lines that kind of draw your eye through
look at this.
through the terrain. Now, this is Jed's stuff, and Jed is very, very funny. His humor shows up in the paintings. He takes on environmental destruction and habitat encroachment, but he does it with this kind of big smile on his face, and somehow the humor drives home the somewhat disturbing kind of message that he's actually...
You can hear it a little more when it's not a scolding.
Right, exactly, hitting you on the head. And that, by the way, is Ryan's pieces there. So he's the volcano guy. So these 2 guys are great. They got a show at Linda Hodges Gallery. It runs through October 28th. They've got a talk on the 21st, which is this Saturday at noon at the gallery.
It's almost,
you guys,
we're at the end of October. It's crazy. And then
now we're going to get kind of goofy and fun. Backed by seriously popular demand is Go Dog Go
at one of my favorite books ever.
Theater. It's such a great book. So it's based on
big dogs, little dogs,
big dogs, all the different colors. So it was P.D. Eastman, right? The book was written in 1961, and this is really one of SCT's most popular shows ever. So this is how I describe it. Basically, red, blue, yellow, and green dog are throwing an all-ages rave.
That's
right. What's happening.
That is the whole idea of the book. And I think I read that out loud to Kyle.
How many times?
A bazillion times officially.
And every time it was thrilling and fun.
Every time it was super fun because there's a big dog party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Who doesn't want to go to a big dog party?
Who doesn't want to go to that? and it just looks beautiful. It's big and bright, really great original music. There's a live little score forward to it.
Awesome.
A lot of kooky stuff, and there's also a lot of humor for adults as well.
Is it
So not
okay
just
if
for
I
kids.
go, just even if I don't have a
Absolutely.
kid to take
hey,
with
honey,
me?
3 and up.
I don't
Hey,
have to get a stunt child to travel
No way.
with me.
You don't. No stunt child needed at all.
Okay, good.
So, and you've got a lot of opportunities to see it. There's 34 more performances. They do 1 million a week. It runs through November 26th at the SCT Children's Theater, which is on
Great.
the campus of Seattle.
It is.
Whatever it's called. What's it called? Seattle Center.
Seattle
That's right.
Center, yes.
And finally, for you Halloween lovers, and by the way, I want to give you this first. Classic
Now, you
candy
hate
corn.
these, right?
I hate candy corn, but she loves candy corn. And it
I
says
do.
made
And
with real honey.
Well, because it is a health food.
Oh, it's a health food.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of what
I'm
it's a
sorry,
fruit.
I just don't care what anybody says.
I know you love it.
They're good.
So that's for your stash.
Thank you.
So in light of Halloween, Ian Bell, that guy right there, he is a great actor in town. And in 1999, he founded this series called the Brown Derby series at the Rebar, which is an old divey little hole in the wall, still there miraculously. So they do these things called ridiculously staged readings of your favorite screenplays. In the past, they've done Top Gun, Terminator, Jaws. This year for Halloween, The Exorcist. I mean,
this is
scary.
going to be so fun. Tongue-in-cheek reading
Totally
of this, right?
tongue-in-cheek, and I don't think there'll be any 360 heads
I
flying
hope
around.
not,
I don't think so.
That actually ruined a good part of my life.
They wouldn't let me see it.
They were smart.
Oh no,
That was really not for sissies.
No, it's not for sissies. This will be for sissies and anyone
Good.
else. It's total fun. It's going to sell out. It's 3 nights only. It's coming up actually tonight, the 19th, 20th, and 21st, 21 and over show. I highly recommend it if you want to kind of have some fun and get a little bit afraid. So
I'll share my candy corn.
Yay.
We'll be right back.
Yay!